if you're doing a spring marathon, chances are right now you're in the thick of things. You're probably at your peak mileage. Your legs are probably pretty tired from the toll from the previous weeks and all the workouts. And for me, this is typically the time when I'm going to have to make some adaptations. You know, if you're trying to be too strict about following your training regimen, a lot of times this can backfire on you. And I think it's important to just keep some flexibility and just make the appropriate changes. Almost always something's going to come up. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I need to take time off or do anything drastic if things are going well. But it might just mean giving a little bit of extra care to the areas where you can tell that things are going to pop up if you don't treat them well. I'm pretty much always needing to make some form of adaptation in my training. Whether it's adapting to the conditions of the roads or adapting to injuries and tweaking your training to to still put in the appropriate amount of work and not injure yourself. I think that's kind of a constant for marathon training. And so I always go into the beginning of the season, with a set plan. But I think the harder part and where the experience becomes more important is how do you adapt that plan? When I set up my training plan 9 weeks ago, there's no injuries, no real issues. So it's nice to have a basis to work from. But I think, ultimately what comes really important is being able to adjust so that you continue to set yourself up for success, even when setbacks happen. Today's Saturday. I finished my warm-up. I'm finishing it up right now. I did like 3.5 outside and just doing like another mile inside here to like more literally warm up. It was a bit cold out, and I didn't want to jump into the faster marathon pace effort without actually feeling pretty hot and a little bit sweaty. Especially with the issue I've been having with my left hamstring. I want to make sure it's good and warmed up before introducing anything faster. I mentioned in last week's video that, I heard it a week ago on my last Saturday workout, and I haven't really been able to run fast since. I've been able to put in some decent effort, but I really have been achieving that just by adjusting the incline on the treadmill. And that'll kind of be my plan B today. I'm going to try to do my 14 miler at marathon pace, trying to hit 5:32 pace or 5:32 effort for that. And I guess what I mean by effort is that if things aren't going well, the first step will just be to increase the incline and keep the effort the same, but make the running slower uphill. And I find that is less aggravating on my hamstring. But we'll probably just have to make some adjustments in the workout. I don't usually like to do that if things are going okay, but with this workout, it was a little bit debatable about whether or not I should be doing it anyways. So I'm definitely giving myself permission to bail on the workout if it's not going well, if it doesn't feel right. It's been a minor issue now for about a week. Haven't really lost much training, but I don't feel comfortable running faster, and I don't want to lose too many of those kinds of workouts because, I mean, based on how I got the minor injury, which was running faster, I'd say that that's probably something that, that I need a bit more of. So, if it's starting to bother me, I'll kind of cut it short and try to stop this from getting into be a bigger problem. I always get a little bit worried about letting a minor injury stick around so long. In large part just because I think, subconsciously change the way you run a bit. I definitely have a bit of a limp going on, and I can get through that. And like for races and whatnot, that's pretty typical. Someone's going to creep up, and you're gonna change how you run a little bit. But if you're doing it every day for weeks on weeks, changing the way you run just sort of opens the door for other injuries to creep in, and in other areas where you're not having issues because you're probably not running the most efficient way you could be, and you're probably using muscles differently and maybe a little bit unnaturally, which in the past has sort of led to other injuries. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. All right, I'm 2 miles into this right now. I did the first mile at 5:30 pace at a 1% incline. Felt okay. I adjusted the second mile to a 2% incline and decreased the pace down to 5:39 mile pace. Still feels okay. So hopefully this keeps up. I don't think I'll attempt to do any of the flat stuff, but so far so good. All right, I'm at 8 miles now and putting in my first steeper hill. I'm going to do a mile at a 3% incline here. And I'll drop the pace or increase the pace to 5:56. Just finishing up the last quarter mile here. Glad I got through this. And I'm glad I didn't make too many big adjustments. This is pretty close to what I had planned to do. The only difference is I didn't do any zero incline. So I maybe didn't get quite the same adaptation to the fast leg turnover, but definitely got more hills and more incline than usual. You can see I'm going to have about 1,100 feet of elevation gain. I'll finish up with a 2 mile cool down here. All right, today is Wednesday, my workout day. I'm doing a lactate threshold workout today, which I haven't done in 2 weeks here. Well, last week I was having some hamstring issues, and it kind of hurt my left hamstring to run that fast. So kind of trying to pick things back up where I left off. And actually, I'm moved things around a little bit. And, the schedule I was following actually had me running a VO2 max workout today. But I decided to look back and pull in the lactate threshold workout instead. And then probably try to do the VO2 max workout next week. Mostly because I was worried about running at VO2 max speed. Like I mentioned, it's sort of the speed that's hurting it, so I just kind of wanted to ease into it a little bit. So this will be fast enough for me anyways. It'll be 5:16 miles. I'm doing this three lactate threshold intervals here. The first one is a 4 miler, and then you take a 4-minute jog break, and then 3 miles, and then another jog for 3 minutes, and then another 3 miles. So I'm going to try to run all those at 5:16 pace. I don't think I'll mess around with the incline today. Similar reasons, I'm just a little bit nervous about doing some downhill. So I just think I'll try to keep it at a 1% incline and run these at 5:16 pace. If my hamstring starts bothering me, I think the first thing I'll adjust will be the incline upwards, and just keep the effort there, but to slow down the pace a little bit by adding incline and decreasing pace. So yeah, these ones are always tough for me. I find that the longer, faster stuff, I think, is really important work. It's just sometimes hard to do on an early Wednesday morning. So anyways, hopefully this goes okay. I'm 3 miles into this first 4 miles. No, I've been going 5:15 pace. It's going okay. Kind of sucking wind, but my left hamstring feels okay. So I'm happy about that. I just finished up the first of the 3 milers. So I did the 4 mile, then the 3 mile. I'm doing a 3-minute break here. And then I finish up with the last 3 miler. That was a bit tougher, but still doable. So it's going okay. At the end of this, I'll have 10 miles of lactate threshold work. So in terms of like pure volume, the workout's not a ton. I did a 4 mile warm up, and then 10 miles of LT work, and then a couple mile cool down. So a total of 16 miles. But I think the big part is that it'll be 10 miles at lactate threshold. So we'll feel pretty good about that if I can get that all done. All right, it's Friday afternoon, and we're finishing up the week with a nice, easy 3 miler. Got Claire and Ellie with me. And we're going out of town tomorrow, so we're trying to enjoy Iceland. Claire just ran a big PR in the 1600 last weekend. What'd you run?
I ran 5:38 in 5:40.
Yeah. And then she will be racing at the middle school state meet next weekend. Good luck for that.